even people with high incomes are living paycheck to paycheck because they're not checking their habits and their mindset.
Just because you have some debt doesn't mean that that's the thing you should be attacking. Maybe you should be attacking your cash flow.
Generational wealth is about like the mindset that gets changed in each generation.
We need to go back to the drawing board to teach people how to earn money.
No matter how much money you're earning, it's all gonna fly down the drain because you've really never mastered how to create habits.
If you don't have new conversations, you'll never open up doors to opportunities that are out there for you to make new money. I don't know what you're saying. What's up, y'all? What's up? Happy Monday. I never know what day it is.
It's Monday with the Mouzons.
I know, right? But I only remember when I sit here and do that. Otherwise, I don't know what day it is. What's up, y'all? Here she is.
Good morning.
You saying it? No, you're here. Are you doing? Are you saying it? Money.
Oh.
Again.
I'm always Mondays.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've only been doing this for 2 years. Go ahead. Money
Mondays
with the
Mouzons.
Muzons. All right, y'all. There we go. Hey, glad you guys are here. Hopefully, you guys had a great weekend. Hope all went well for you this weekend. It's the end of March. He starts asking questions. I know. You see how it's habit? No, go sit down.
No, tell me.
Go sit down. I told you after morning mindset.
Yeah.
Or I mean after Money Mondays.
Morning mindset.
Whatever. After Money
it'll
Mondays.
Be ready. Yeah, when we're done. You want me to make you a bowl?
Told you after.
Yeah. Is your stomach gonna be okay?
Anyways, what's up, y'all? She's got a habit of always interrupting and asking questions when she knows mommy's not focused.
She knows that's.
But you already asked me like 30 minutes ago, and I gave you the answer. Anyway, but I told you it'd be done after this. Anyways, y'all. Hey, it's Monday. We're here for another Money Mondays with the Mouzons. We do this so that you can have a resource and a place to be able to talk money. Right? We talk money all the time, and so having a resource about how to manage your money, your money conversations. I was thinking about this because we're about to give a talk to a bunch of people that I know have like financial advisors. And again, people always, we advise, right? Like we help people with strategy. But the difference between us and the advisor is that the advisor is really just there to manage your money and kind of plan out what your future retirement, all the stuff looks like, your investments, those types of things. But like, who's helping you? One, what are they teaching you? Always ask that question if you have an advisor. If you've had an advisor for 20 years, what have they taught you about money? Like, do you know more about it, or you just know whatever they tell you about the market? That's one huge distinction. The other thing is who are you having like basic financial conversations with? Not the investment thing that they've made confusing for you so you think you need them to invest your money. But I mean, like, how do you get out of debt? Like if you're having a conversation about paying off credit card debt, or you have a conversation about what plan to start for your children, or how do you budget, or what's your spending habits? You're typically not having those conversations with your advisor, probably because you're paying.
What type of insurances do you have?
What type of insurance
protecting your foundation?
They are not insurance professionals, right? They refer out insurance. So who's helping you with insurance? Who's helping you with? They might tell you some of these things, but that's not what they do. That's what we do. We're having these financial conversations with you all the time of whatever you're thinking about, whether it's your cash flow, whether it's your savings, your retirement, whether it's your debt, whether it is your insurance stuff, long-term care, your estate planning, like whatever it is, we're having the conversation. And then if we see like, hey, you need an advisor, you're really talking about your portfolio and you're worried about that. Okay, well, let's point you in the direction of a trusted advisor. But we need the strategy. We need people that pull it all together, because this financial life it can be overwhelming for a lot of people. We're trying to make it simple and easy for you guys, since this is what we've been doing for a long time.
Plus, we talked about having a team, and having an advisor is not having a team around you that's looking out for all of your interests and your entire plan. Your plan does not consist of your investments towards retirement and hoping that money will be there and they'll be managing it well. Your plan includes like 7 other huge things. We call them 6 pillars, but within those pillars, there's so many little details that are not being looked after and are not being built and coached through. And so that's why you need a team of people. Your tax person,
It's funny.
super important. Your advisor is not your tax person. So who's protecting you from taxes now, and later, where it's most important, I think. But it's a team, and that team must communicate. We talked about this, before many times. That team should communicate on your behalf.
That's right. Imagine you have a business and you're a bunch of different, CMO, CTO, all these people, and they never communicate to each other. They're running your whole business, but they never talk to each other. Right. They only talk to you, and then you have to relay the message. It would get overwhelming after a while, right? It would get overwhelming. So,
it's been a while, Jim.
Yeah, she just saw your comment.
I can't read it though because I'm blind.
I know. I will. It says, I'll tell you one thing that folks my age need help with. Either would be filing for Social Security. I did it, but it was a confusing process. Thank you for that insight.
Great insight. Yes.
It's funny. The Social Security process is something that a lot of people talk to us about because it is confusing, right? It is confusing when to take it. Right, how to fill out the form so you understand what you're actually getting. So, yeah, maybe we need to do some content around that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We do some content around the Social Security filing.
That's also a great idea with the elder care company that we're thinking of too. That include that in there because that is part of
a part of it.
Aging.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, thanks, Jim.
Yes,
I appreciate that.
Great, Jim.
We'll create some content around that. We'll probably start to talk a little bit more about that. Maybe offline, like shoot me a message like what was the most confusing part of it, or right, we get some insight from other retirees or people close to retiring that are now filling out that Social Security stuff.
And we dealt with it. I deal with it with my mom's Social Security in California. I handle hers, and then Chris's mom, we've dealt with her Social Security that she's still on, and yo-yo, and how that affects different things in your life. Especially what we're going to talk about today too, and that Social Security and all that is part of the long-term care need, and the what we're thinking about when we think about retirement, and that's what we're talking today. So I do bring up the topic right away.
It's better that we had at least 7 minutes of intro, because sometimes if I just let you run it, we'd be 1 minute in and starting to talk about the thing anyway. So yeah, what we were going to talk about or mention a little bit today was just a little bit of that long-term investment, that retirement side of things. I don't know if people understand that we're in a retirement crisis. Like, I don't know if you know that. I know you might only be looking at your finances and you're like, hey, I don't have enough for it. But like, we're, as a country, we're in a retirement crisis. Things are going to get incredibly bad. For people that just don't have enough.
Things are already bad, and they're going to get much, much worse, but things are already really bad.
Yeah.
Like for a lot of families whose kids are not helping, and they are, alone and just relying on their Social Security and their 401k or their IRA or everything else they potentially had ran out, and now they're on their Social Security and their mortgage is still not paid off because it was refinanced twice. There's just, and then the inflation, cost of everything, cost of medical, cost of prescriptions, cost of living it's for elderly people who are in that situation, which is a huge number. It's a terrible situation.
Yeah. I have some stats here that I was reading about retirement stuff. It said at the beginning of 2026, we're about to head into the second quarter. So the first quarter stats will start to get out, but heading into 2026, it says most American retirees need somewhere around $820,000 to retire comfortably, whatever comfortably looks like for you. $820,000 is about the number. Currently, retirees have an average of $288,000 saved. It's barely a third of the amount, right? So the average, like I think if we had an article that we had put up a while back, I think it was Yahoo Finance or somebody that was talking about the median 401k balance, the median 401k balance per age. And that 288,000 was the median for people between 55 and 65. right? It was like 280 some thousand was the median. That means half of the population has less. 55 to 65, half of the population have less than 280,000.
Yeah.
And then the other half have more. But just knowing that like half of people don't even have a third of what's needed.
Right.
And that's not to mention more could have been 350,000. It could have been 400. It could have been 500. It's still not at the 820 something $1,000 that's needed for your retirement. It says here, this is one right here.
You want me to read it? Over a quarter of retirees, 29%, say they have no money saved for retirement at all. Wow.
Look at that.
At all.
Almost 30%. Almost 30% say they have no money saved for retirement at all. We work with people like this.
At that age, 55 to 65.
Right.
That's scary. It's scary for them.
We work with a lot of people like this. And sometimes we get to the retirement, the end of the road, and we're just like, I'm done. But like now it's like, but I got another 20 to 30 years I'm gonna live after this. That's a whole nother lifetime basically. Right. But you have less energy and less resources and more responsibility and more health challenges and all the things that start popping up. That's a scary place to be when you're right, when you have nothing for retirement. It says 92% of retirees say people underestimate how much money is needed to retire comfortably. Most people don't know that answer. We would say this when we would have these retirement conversations with people. How much do you need to retire? If your answer is a vague answer, it's likely you will never retire. Let me say that again. Right? When we ask you the question, how much do you need to retire? How much? What's the financial independence number? How much do you need set aside to retire? If we ask you that question and your answer is something vague, a lot, not enough, more than what I have, I'm gonna work until I die, right? Some vague answer like that, it's likely you won't retire, right? Attaining retirement's just a number, right? It's whenever you feel like you have enough to be able to set aside to ration you out if you choose to never go back and make more money. But it's a number. It's a number, and you have to be specific about the number. You have to be specific about the number. Saying a lot or a bunch or more than what I have, or like those things cause you to not even plan. You're almost just like wishing it away, like, if it happens, it happens. But if you said, hey, I need $820,000 getting me 4% interest or something, so I can make my $60,000 a year or $80,000 a year or whatever that comes out to, so I can maintain my living, well, then that's your retirement number. That's how you get there. But you got to be strategic and you got to start planning for it. Otherwise, we'll stay in this cycle. It says 51% of retirees say they have no plan if their retirement savings runs out. If it's done, you got no plan. This is why we talk about annuities a lot. Yeah. And I just had this conversation with Dr. Kinney about annuities and like the protection that they bring. One, because your money's like not in the market, but two, just not outliving your money. People don't understand the importance of like, you need someone to ration this out for you. Right. It's why your 401k has worked for you. If it worked, is because it was out of sight, out of mind. Like you didn't have to control it. Right. You didn't have to do anything. You kind of just set it aside and it was there. Now on the distribution, when you're ready to take that money out, if you tried to take out 40,000 every few months, 60,000 a year, you're going to deplete that money in 4 or 5 years. Now what do? So what an annuity does is it allows you to not outlive the money. You have a stream of income for life. We call it a personal pension plan, right? A personal pension plan. You take the money that you've saved up, all of it, you put it into an annuity. It's going to ration out your money until you pass away. That is going to save a lot of people from that worry. Yeah. More than half of retirees think they're going to run out of money. Well, what if we had a product for you where you won't run out of your money? Sure, you're not going to be able to take lump sum $50,000 to get your house fixed and $20,000 to send all your grandkids to Disney. Like you're not going to have that. But you're going to have a steady $1,500 a month for the rest of your life. Right. if you don't have a ton of retirement savings, then that is your next option on the distribution side. But it's a real conversation. Here's something that'll dive into, I think.
And even if you have a ton, putting part of that into an annuity and guaranteeing yourself a stream of income for the longevity of however long you'll live is part of the portfolio for like anybody. It's just a great product to include amongst other products.
That's right. That's right. This might lead into what you were going to talk about. It says 1 in 7 or 14% have avoided medical appointments or treatments to preserve their savings. Right? People having to make the conscious decision of like, do I go to the doctor or do I like retire with my money? Do I like keep my money? Because I know if I go to the doctor, all of these things that are going to pop up in the test and the insurance and all the things that start popping up that you have to pay. You know, the number one reason for bankruptcy is medical debt. As you get older, the number one reason for bankruptcy that people file bankruptcy is medical debt. Is because you just have had a bunch of surgeries and a bunch of hospital stays, and you got a $20, $30, $40, $50,000 bill that like you just aren't going to pay. Some people are filing bankruptcy for that type of stuff. So all types of things, but that kind of goes into like some of the long-term care stuff. Like how do we prevent that? Right. We're telling you kind of what's happening, just in case you're not aware of what's happening out here in the world. And you might just be thinking about your own situation, but like most people are going through this stuff. But the solutions, right? Like, what are the solutions? Once you know, okay, this is the problem. We're in a retirement crisis. What can we do? Well, if you have some money, look at annuities. Like, come talk to us. We'll work with a bunch of companies. We'll show you, hey, these are good annuities. A lot of them are giving bonuses, right? You never outlive your money. So that could be something to do with your $100,000, $120,000, your $400,000, like whatever it is. Give you a stream of income for life. Then on the medical side, right? If you're worried about medical debt, if you're going to doctors, all the things, like sooner rather than later, you should probably look into a long-term care policy.
Yes.
Again, long-term
sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Because when it's later, obviously it's much more, expensive. It's much more of an investment. It's going to take so much more of your money to be able to get into a product like that. If you can get into a product like that. Once you age out, you age out. Not long-term care is, again, for the people who are eligible for that type of product. It's just like life insurance. You can get to a point where you just won't qualify. So
yeah, it deals with age and health
sooner rather than later.
Right.
Yeah.
So especially long-term care, especially disability policies. Normally people come to us when it's too late. It's like,
and then they're realizing the importance of it. But yeah, the importance of it is to make sure you are trying to get it in your 30s. And, best thing in your latest in your 40s. But once you're pushing 50, it's much more difficult. But 30s, early 30s, would be great. And that's, again, speaks to the importance of having a coach and a team that's talking to you about this in your early adulthood. It's really mostly too late when people start thinking about these kinds of things in their late 30s. It's you're already behind the ball. It's not never too late, but it is never too late. But
I would kind of give a
late
age
30s.
range. I'd kind of give an age range though. I think once you hit like 60, then it becomes like long-term care and disability are going to kind of be out of the window.
Oh my goodness, absolutely.
No, not absolutely.
60.
I'm saying like right then, because
even 50s, it's going to be very pricey.
No, I run policies for people that are 52, 53. It's not unaffordable.
Not unaffordable, but it's a chunk.
Yeah, but it's not unaffordable.
What is it, like 300 something?
Depends how much.
What type of
yeah,
policy?
like how much coverage they want, like how much they want to get paid out on the disability side. But like it's really like that pre-55. Once you get over 55, like once you can sign up for AARP or whatever, like that's when all the things start going up, right? There are supremely healthy 50-year-olds that like you'd be perfect for a long-term care policy because that long-term care probably won't kick in for 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, right? But 60 is probably the cutoff or where you're going to be like, and it's crazy because that's when people start thinking about it. People start thinking about it when they're getting to retirement, 62, 65, 67. They're like, wait, I don't have any of these things. It's like, well, now you waited all the way till the end to figure it out. If we did it in our 50s, in our 40s, if we did it then.
Because that's what we're talking about today. And that's why it's so important to get it as early as possible because it should be part of your retirement planning process.
That's right.
So our retirement planning process doesn't start when we're 60 or 50. It starts when we're 30, hopefully,
That's
25
right.
even for a lot of us, go-getters who are thinking about these things so early in life, which is great. But that's when it should start because long-term care, and the facts will tell you, the statistics will tell you, most of us are going to age out.
Yeah.
And most of us are going to need those services at some point in our life. So we must plan for that as we plan for our retirement. How am I going to have an income? How is my income not going to get eaten up by my medical costs? That is by having a long-term care policy to avoid that from happening. But this statistics I
By
saw
the way,
just
Chris,
now
thanks
was really
thanks
good.
for stopping by. We appreciate it, man.
Chris. Oh, I see. Hey, Chris.
You were super
How's
late
it going? I can't see it. Yeah, there you go. You blurred it out.
because it was
Thanks.
on the screen.
Yeah.
You're reading it over here. You got to read it over here.
Oh, got it.
There,
Okay.
it was here.
I'm still learning this platform. Okay. So this one I thought was a good one. Where did it go? Keep talking. I'll find it.
Yeah, we're talking long-term care.
Okay. This was a statistic I thought was really interesting. It's a demographic shift. The number of U.S. adults age 65 plus will exceed children under 18 by 2034, with the 85 plus population set to double by 2040. That's huge. By 2034, there's going to be more 65 plus people in the world or in the U.S. than there is people under the age of 18. So that's a huge shift. That means there's going to be the need for more medical staff for these long-term care facilities, more costs, more all of it. So again, long-term care should be part of your retirement process of savings. It should automatically, and I don't think people have ever thought about it that way.
Yeah, I don't know that it's talked about as much.
Mhm.
Right? You should talk about it a lot more because
Mhm.
you're going to need it.
Yeah.
And we have that Daymond John clip, that piece of content from Daymond John. He talks about it. He's like, hey, if you saved up like $3 million, you're the child, and you have parents and they don't have long-term care policies, and you've saved up your own $3 million retirement, like the average long-term care facility is going to run you, 10 grand to 20 grand a month. So now you got a couple years before your parents are going to wipe out what you've built, your savings, because you have to help them out. Otherwise, they're not going to get the care that they need.
Mm-hmm.
That's what erodes wealth. It's not paying attention. It's not planning for what is up ahead. The nature of insurance.
In 2020, 53 million Americans served as unpaid caregivers, often facing extreme stress and financial depletion. Exactly what you just said. You saved up $3 million, a huge chunk of that is going to end up going to take care of your parents, because it affects people in many, many ways. A lot of people lose their jobs or can't continue going to work because they have to take care of an aging parent. Mm-hmm. Their business shift is, if they're entrepreneurs, like if that aging parent isn't going to go to a long-term care facility, or you're unable to bring nursing in, which again costs money, people will then be like, then I'm going to be the caregiver and not be paid for it. And the state, there are ways and programs where, family can become caregivers and get paid by the state, but it's so minimal. People think it's like a job. It's so minimal. It's ridiculous. So if it's not going to, it affects your own retirement. That's the extremity of long-term care needs. It affects your own retirement. Not only that, it's going to affect whatever family members are then affected by that, because now the financial burden trickles down. So again, that's why that it's so important to include it in your retirement plan.
Yep. So that's why we call this planning, y'all. It's not going to happen for you right now. We got to plan for the future. The nature of insurance, whether we're talking long-term care, life insurance, disability insurance, car insurance, homeowner, it doesn't matter. The nature of insurance is to mitigate risk, right? It's to protect your downside.
Yes.
We have thoughts of the upside. We have thoughts of what if we hit retirement, we have all the money, we get the rental properties, we get the apartment, whatever it is, like the best case scenario is. Insurance protects your worst case scenario. Hey, what if this doesn't happen? What if I pass away early? What if I get sick? It'll ruin all of the dreams that you had. It'll ruin it, right? We all know people that they had all the best financial intention, and then they got in a car accident, or then they got cancer, or then something happened where they weren't planning, they weren't prepared. So now cash flow goes away. They have to eat up their savings. They go into debt, and they blame it on the accident. They blame it on the diagnosis. They blame it on the thing that happened, that happens to most people. That's what we're planning for. We're like, you need the insurances because it just mitigates your risk. Keep striving for all the things you want to, and just in case you get
strong foundation.
Just in case you get in that car accident, you got a living benefit policy that's going to pay you out. Just in case you get cancer,
it protects your assets. It protects your lifestyle. It protects everything else you're building. That's really what insurance is. Insurance of different kinds. It's a foundational type of insurance product that then you can build whatever you want on top of, and you just make sure that those products you have in place can withstand, God forbid, economic changes happen, and that affects your real estate investments, that affects your stock investments. Medical issues happen, that affects your lifestyle, your ability to receive income. You need more things because you're sick. That protects all of those risks, like you said.
Yep,
so you got to have the right products in place, and those products are ever changing. It's not like you get a $100,000 policy and you're good for life. No, because if you're building more than $100,000, you're going to need more protection than $100,000. You're going to need to make sure that foundation is always able to withstand whatever it is you're building.
That's the nature of it, y'all. But that's why we do this, so we can have these conversations. You might not be having these conversations with your advisor. You might not even have an advisor. You're just reading stuff on the internet and talking to your friends and family and the people that are close to you. You need to talk with a financial professional. You need to start planning. Things are not
you need
going
to build a team.
Again, a board of directors, so to speak, right? A personal board of directors. You should have a person that's good in all the areas that you need help in. That you, right? Like, you can't be the one-man band. You need professionals to help you with things. And so the financial team is important.
It's really not like difficult. Any average person can have a financial team, a board of directors. This is not for like the high net worth people. This is, hey, I have a CPA that I trust, and she or he does my taxes every single year, and we've built a relationship, and I really like them. And I like them so much, I send them referrals, and they really take care of me. And I've built a long-term relationship with them. That's an investment that you make into your now tax person on your team.
Versus you just doing your taxes.
Yeah, and trying to take, the easy way out.
Figure it out.
Going to
H&R Block.
Yeah.
Jackson Hewitt, like all those. And again, maybe that's how you were taught. I get it, right? But like, as you want to build, this is for people that want to build financially.
Right.
If you want to build,
it's really not much. A good solid tax person is going to take $250, maybe $300 of your tax return. Like, that's nothing. You won't even miss it for the value of what that relationship, that ongoing relationship, is going to do for you. Because if that person is good, they're going to be coaching you on, hey, you could save money this year. Let's open up an LLC. Let me show you how to do that, and we can make you an S corp, and you could save and this and that. Like, you build that relationship. H&R Block isn't going to do that with you.
But
and
again,
then you get yourself a real estate person. Hey, I'd like to know about more about real estate. I bought real estate. I bought my first house, and I want to. How you build that relationship if you don't have much money? Because then people will be like, I don't have money. How do I send them referrals? Help them build their business. And whenever you come across someone else who wants to buy a house, hey, I have a really good real estate person. Let me send you, boom, you send them referrals. Now that person's going to really care about that relationship with you because you're helping them build their business profile. Now you got a real estate person on your team. You come to someone like me and Chris. We do everything for free. Everything is complimentary. Again, we work on referrals as well. You now have yourself a financial coach on your team. It's not difficult to do. It's free. You don't have to pay for much of these services besides like the tax stuff, and you know, you can do it in a free way. Every average person can create a team.
People take it. So there are people that we've coached that like really take advantage of our service. Like I just got an email from an old client, and she messages me every time she has a financial decision to make. She shoots me an email every single time. This one was, "Hey, I'm moving again. I'm moving. I got to move my mom. Here's what I'm thinking. Da da da. What are your thoughts?" Like I told her like reach out anytime, and she does. People that randomly reach out, "Oh, I had this issue with my tax. Like, what do you think you should do?" And I was like, "I'll do this, but talk to your CPA." Da da da. Like just having someone that it knows is knowledgeable. Imagine you have like a doctor in your family. Imagine you have a doctor that's like you have a really, really close relationship with. And you have some health challenges, you can call that doctor. They might not like it all the time, right? That's not us. Right. But like for real, you can call them or text them and be like, "Hey, this is what I'm feeling like. What should I do?" And they'll probably give you a response. They're a doctor, right? They'll tell you, go to the hospital, or it's probably nothing, or have you tried this? That's what they'll do. That's what you need. That's your team. It's funny because that's literally on the calendar, my Rich Dad calendar today for March 30th. It said, "Business and investing is a team sport." Who's on your team? That's literally what it says today, right? So you got to build your team, but your team is going to help you plan.
Again, you can easily find other people for your team through people who are already on your team, which is mostly the case. You come to people like us, we're automatically going to be like, "Oh, you need a CPA? We trust ours. We have a long-standing relationship with him." Boom. Made you a connection with our CPA. You need real estate? We know real estate people in almost every single state in the United States. So now wherever you are, we could probably refer you to a really great real estate agent. You need this, you need that, we could probably refer it because we built our team for a very long time for the past 14 years. So we can now extend our team to you. So again, it's not difficult to build a team. All it takes is time and energy and focus, like we talked about last Monday.
That's right. But you
caring more. There's more focus there.
That's right. But you need to do it if you have any aspirations of getting your financial life in order, y'all. If you have any goals, dreams, things you want to make happen, right? Retirement, it's just a number. There should be a point in time. I'm trying to encourage you here. Let's not be the people with the mindset of like, I'm going to work until I die. Even if it feels that way to you, let's not say that because that's what will exactly happen. Let's actually plan for how do we create a life that we want? How do we get all the money? Sometimes, and we've talked about this on plenty of shows, sometimes you just need to go make more money, and that needs to be the focus. Forget the products, forget all the stuff that's out there. Like you need to tap into your skill sets, and you need to go make some more money. In 2026, it's never been a simpler time to start a business, to have an idea and go from idea to business. Most of us just don't have the education, the knowledge, the belief, the entrepreneurial spirit to like go make something happen. But like, it's never been a simpler time to go create whatever it is that you want to create. Not the things that you've heard, but like the things you actually want. And that'll generate you income.
And if you don't know how, come talk to us about it.
We talk to people about that all the time.
We're part of that team. You know, entrepreneurship is a huge part of what we do. We don't just talk finances. I think sometimes we forget, you know, to really extend that to people. We don't just talk about your finances and helping you and becoming your financial coach. We will also help you become the entrepreneur you've always wanted to be if you have that thought, or even if you don't, you know, and you're just looking for a way to make more money. We definitely help in that area.
Because it has to do with cash flow. That's exactly like the reason why we started talking about it a bunch is because it's cash flow. What comes in, what goes out.
Right.
So if we're going to teach you how to budget or track your money, that's cool. But who's teaching you how to make more? Who's teaching you how to earn more? Who's having the entrepreneurial conversations with you? Or are you talking to other employees of what you want to do or would do or can't do or blah, blah, blah? You need to talk to other entrepreneurs, right? You need to talk to people that, and so that's a part of your money as well. All that's a part of planning. And so that's what we're doing, y'all. We're helping you plan for the future that you want. As always, right? Every Monday we're here. We're coming here to, again, just keep ourselves open so you guys can ask your questions. Shout out to Jim who dropped that question in the chat about Social Security. That's something we'll definitely pay more attention to and get some content around. Help you guys out with it. And maybe. And so tap in every single Monday.
Mhm.
Continue to have these financial conversations. Drop your questions in the chat.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to help.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
All right, yo. Until next week, yo.
Happy
Money.
Mondays
with the
Mouzons.
Mouzons.
All right, yo. Later.